button-down blouse. I used to wear this to work all the time. And a lot of times I'd wear like clunky jewelry with it, or, long necklaces. It had the big this big hair. So it was kind of funny. But I love the 80s. I love working and living in the 80s. Super fun. Hi everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's Sunday, January 16th, 2023. And if you don't know, I'm Cindy Cross with Thrift and Thrift. I've had an eBay store for 21 years, and I'm here to help you out with reselling. Today, I wanted to talk about a few things. I do want to share more of the things I got for free or for a very low price that I flipped on eBay. But I also want to share a couple things just in case you didn't know or you need to know more information about it. One of them is regarding customer service when it comes to returns. I've had a few returns lately, and I'm sure a lot of people have, because after Christmas, you got some buyer's remorse, or, sometimes packages get to the person, they're broken. There have been many times I've really packaged my item well, a breakable item, and it's still gotten to the person broken. It's amazing. Even like double boxed it, it still happens. The post office is very rough on their packages. They just throw them around. They go through various processes where, the item could get damaged. So just be very careful when you're packaging up your items. Just bubble wrap the heck out of it. Use packing paper. Use anything to protect that item. Peanuts, those bubble, those air-filled bubble packs. You could also double box, like I said. I really try and protect my breakable items so they don't get to the customers broken, but it still does happen. So kind of wanted to talk about the refund and return process with you. Buyers will do one of two things if they want to return an item. They will message you directly and say they're unhappy, they'd like to return this item for a full refund, or tell you there was something wrong with it. I prefer that method, or sometimes they just go straight through eBay. They open a return with eBay. So I'll tell you what I do on both instances. It all depends on the situation, but let's say a buyer emails me directly and they say, hey, I'm really happy I got this, it's damaged. If it's an item they still could use and it's, just like one part of it broke off, what I do is I ask them if they're okay with a partial refund. I'd say 99% of the time they say yes. So then I try and kind of work with them to see what's fair. What I usually do, I've done two things where I take let's say the total cost was $20. I refund them $10. But sometimes I just refund them the cost of the item. Like the last one I did was like $14. I did not refund the shipping. I just refund the cost of the item because they are keeping the item. So you don't want to give them a full refund unless the item was demolished and that they have got no use of it at all. Or let's say it was my fault. Something wasn't described properly. That happens, not very often. I try and describe as best as I can. But if it's totally my fault, I refund them in full. They have to give me pictures. If they don't send me pictures, I don't refund at all. But I don't want, a lot of times I would have to pay for the cost of the item to come back to me. And if it's completely damaged or partially damaged, I don't want that item back. I can't resell it. There's no sense in me paying the postage to have it back. So that's when I do a partial refund with them. And then I get a happy customer. It closes the case. It's all good. And we could both move on. In the case where, let's say it's a clothing item that doesn't fit, or it, they just didn't like it for whatever reason, that's when I make them, they send it back to me. If they've gone to me just with email, I say, I'm really sorry about that. Please send it back to me using eBay's return system. Once I get it back, I'll refund you. And then they do that. They open up a case with eBay. They send it back to me. And even if I have to pay for the shipping label, it depends on the reason they select. Sometimes I have to, if it's not as described, I will have to pay for the shipping label. And if that's the case, I just pay for it. If it's, if it's a $5 item, I'm not going to do it. But if it's a $20 and up item, of course, I'll pay for the shipping label. They ship it back to me. I relist it. I sell it again. I say 99% of the time I resell it. So it's all good. It's no big deal. But that's worked for me for years. I always have happy buyers that way. I think it's good just to evaluate the situation. Sometimes you want the item back and you want to resell it, so you refund them in full or partial. So that's the other thing. If they go through eBay, they return the item to me, I receive it, I always check it over, make sure it's the item I sold them and it's in the condition that I sent it in or how they described. And I've always done very well with them. Never had anybody send me something that wasn't the item I sent them. I've heard horror stories where sellers have said they've received items that they did not sell that buyer. Thank God this never happened to me. Never had anybody try to pull one over me in that instance. But if I received the item, let's say they want to return it because it didn't fit, I send them a refund of just the purchase price, and I keep the shipping for my time and efforts. I've never really had anybody dispute that. I think I had one other person who wanted the shipping, and if they ask for the shipping, I do give them the shipping. But if it's my fault and I receive the item, I send them their money back in full, the cost of the item and the shipping. That's how I do it. You guys do what you think, but that's worked well for me. And I don't do free shipping, so I don't have to deal with that. That's always tough when people they do free shipping. So when it comes to returns, that's a toughie. You don't want to refund them shipping because that means you're out the shipping. So yeah, that's a whole different animal. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't do free shipping. The only time I would do that is if the item was small. Let's say I'm selling a ring for $100. I could do free shipping on that. Send it first class. It's only $5, and that it's worth it to me. Or it's a really lightweight item like that, I will do free shipping, or I'll do minimal shipping like $2 or $3. The other thing I wanted to talk about, you guys, was I've talked about on my channel before not to cross post. At least I haven't been cross posting lately, or I wasn't, because I wanted to put all my eggs in the eBay basket. I wanted to spend all my time and effort listing on eBay. But after seeing some YouTubers, especially one I watched recently, her channel name is Super Geeks. She's a very cool chick, and I like her content. She was recommending cross-posting, and the more I think about it, especially after selling on some of my items on platforms lately, I've sold on Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, and Poshmark. I've sold more on Poshmark than the other two. Even though I have not listed on those platforms for months, I still sell. And I really liked cross-posting at first because I was getting sales on all the platforms. But then I decided to stop putting the time and effort into cross-posting and just list on eBay, which is great. That's done me well. In fact, I sold 11 items on eBay yesterday. Blew my mind. I mean, I think it might have something to do that it's a 3-day weekend. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I do tend to do well over 3-day holiday weekends. I think people are home and they want to shop, but I was amazed I got that many sales. It has a lot to do with I'm promoting my items, and I'm doing a 25% off coupon. And I've sold some things for $4 or $5, which I never used to. But you know what? I just want to get out the door. People are not going to pay the prices they used to pay, at least for my items. People are still paying, up for some things, depending on the item and their situation. But I'm trying to get things out the door. I want to turn and burn, as they say. So I'm taking most offers, And a lot of things that people are just buying outright because they're $4, $5, $6. So I'm not getting huge sales. I did get like a $20, $30 sale the other day. So I do get the bigger sales sometimes. But lately it's been the lower price sales because, you know, this is what people can afford, and this is what they want to pay. But at least I sold the item. Some of these things I've had for a couple of years. So it's really wonderful to get that out the door. I don't have to store it. I've got about 1,200 items in my basement that I'm storing. I did have close to 1,300, but a lot of them I either sold or I donated or I gave them as Christmas gifts. I did thrift again this year for Christmas, and my family was very happy with everything I picked out for them. Gave them a lot of clothes and some other items. So yeah, thrifting. I hope you guys thrifted for Christmas. It's always a wonderful thing. But even, you know, if you buy, that it's just the fact that you give to your family. I just love the giving. You know, my family is like, oh, you don't have to. My dad's like, just bake me some chocolate chip cookies. I'm like, no, I love giving you guys gifts. And I can't just give them one gift. I give them 3 or 4. You know, and I don't care if they just give me one gift. I just love giving. I've always been that way. So, and you definitely do receive blessings when you give from God. So, you know, I just love giving. I just love seeing the reaction of the person and really blessing people. All right, kind of got off track there, you guys. But I did start cross-listing again. And I use a program that's totally free called Flip, F-L-Y-P. And if you don't know, this is a free cross-posting program. I used to use List Perfectly. I didn't like paying $30 a month for it. That was just the basic. I have a lot of subscriptions. I'm trying to really cut down on my subscriptions monthly. They add up. I used to have a subscription with Epidemic Sound. I used them for all the music for my YouTube channel. It was $14, $15 a month. Got rid of that one, got rid of List Perfectly. I got rid of a few. I mean, we had Peacock and Paramount Plus, canceled those. Our main watching of streaming channels, we pay for Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Discovery Plus. And then my husband Johnny, as I call him, he likes to watch sports, so he gets ESPN and Hulu through Hulu, I believe. So yeah, that's another thing you guys might want to take a look at. Just kind of, if you're looking for ways to save money, might be looking at your subscriptions if you have any, and just start paring them down. I know there is a website, and I forgot the name of it, but I heard from another YouTuber who they got sponsored by this company, and they actually go in and look for any subscriptions you might have, and it's a way for you to save money because you can cancel some of these. And if I think of the name, I'll put it on the screen. So anyway, I did start cross-posting with Flip. When I used it before, several months ago, I did have some glitches, but it's working really well for me. I think they've ironed out a lot of their glitches. I really like it. I cross-posted like 5 items yesterday on Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace. They say that coming soon is cross-posting on Etsy, which I really like because I do have an Etsy store, but I've only got like 5 items in there. And then they're going to do Depop, I think, and I can't remember the other one. But I'll be really happy when they get Etsy up and running to cross-post on. But right now I just do the 3, and it's relatively easy. What I do is I just open up an eBay listing, and I copy and paste everything, really, the description, the title, and then I save the photos onto my computer and then upload them. And it's nice because the photos are already, you know, cut and cropped, and they're ready to go. So it's only takes me a couple of minutes per listing, and you upload it to the main page on Flip, and then you go ahead and click on Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, and then they have a check mark once you're done and your item is listed. And you could double check it, and it's there, and it's really nice. So like, let's say I sold something on one of those platforms, I just go to Flip and I go to that item and I say it's sold, and they delist it for you. It's really, really nice. So yeah, things change, it's like a person could tell you one thing and then a few months later that changes. It's like you go by with the information you have at that time. So nothing's set in stone. Yeah, one time I said I wasn't cross-posting. I don't recommend cross-posting. Well, I'm cross-posting again. So I do recommend it now. Hey, maybe they'll change it in a few months and I'll stop it again. I don't know. But I did get a couple sales from the other platforms recently. So these are things that have been sitting on eBay for at least a year or longer. And, they might sell on eBay eventually and they might not. So I just want to get them sold. I don't put things on there that I just list on eBay. These are items that, and you could click on eBay on your listings. You could click on the date column and it'll take you to the oldest date. So that way you can scroll through your listings and find out what are the oldest things you've had on there. It'll say the date so you know how long it's been. So those are the items that I post on those 3 platforms. You want to make sure you don't have any duplicates. I always make sure. I have duplicated before in the past. This is just a waste of your time and effort. And you definitely don't want 2 of that item listed on those platforms, because if you sell one, you still got another one on there, it could sell again, and then you don't have the item. So one other thing I wanted to touch on is inventory systems. I've talked about them before. Everything I've used is not perfect. Now, I know Chris from Daily Refinement, he does a date-based system where he puts everything in these plain brown boxes, and he does it based on dates. So he says it's a guarantee that you're always going to find what you've sold. I personally am not ready to do that. I did do the SKU system for a long time. I have posted videos about that. But the problem with that, you got to rely on your memory. And sometimes I would forget to put a number in the SKU field when I was listing an item, or I put the wrong number. And then I'm frantically looking through all my bins, and it's a lot of wasted time and worrying and effort, and it's not good. So then I told you I got this tote scan, which I really like, but that's not perfect either. There was a couple of things that were in the wrong bin, because again, it relies on you, meaning me, to put in the accurate information. Can't read your mind. It's not a computer. It doesn't figure out where you put the item. It's all on you, and us as humans make errors. So what I'm doing now to kind of ensure that I'm not putting things in the wrong bin or not labeling them, mislabeling them, these numbers on the clear packages, like these, put the number on there. So each item has a number, and I put that in the SKU field, and I put it in tote scan. So I'm doing both to just ensure that I don't ever mislabel things again. And I was just doing tote scan. I was just saying, each tote scan has, a unique number and a UPC code with it. But I was also saying like 1 through 29. I have 29 bins next to it, so I could find it quickly. But I wasn't using these numbers. I had stopped using these. And so you're just looking for the item loose in the tote, and it's just going to be a slower process. Sure, I can find it on my own, but if I'm looking for a specific number, I know for sure that's the correct item. I don't have to take it out of the package to verify that it's the correct item. So I'm using both inventory systems, and for me, that's just a double check that I am filing things correctly, I'm inventorying them correctly, I'm typing in the SKU on all my eBay listings, and I'm also putting it in tote scan with the SKU and the description of what it is. So if you guys don't have an inventory system, you definitely need one, whatever's going to work for you, so that when you sell that item on eBay or any of the other platforms, you know exactly where to go. It's very frustrating to say it's in bin 8 and it's not there, and then you're looking through all of them, and I've had this happen where the item's not there at all. With my move, I got rid of a lot of items, but unfortunately, I think I didn't get them all off eBay. So I was having to cancel orders, which is bad, bad, bad. I'm really trying to be more careful that if I get rid of an item, I donate it or give it to somebody or wear it myself. Hey, this is an item I had on eBay, and I decided I liked it and I wanted to wear it. So occasionally that'll happen. I'll take things out of inventory and wear them for myself. So you just got to make sure you have the best inventory system that works for you, so you find those items that you sell and get those to your customers, and you don't have a defect against you by canceling the item. Okay guys, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the items that I have sold that I got for free or for a very low cost. I think that video did very well, so I think people were really wanting to know what you can find for free. And again, most of these I got from my pa's thrift store, or I got them around the house, or they were given to me, or I got them for a really low price at a thrift store. So there was no cost to me, so I'm getting some kind of profit for that sale. Guys, sounds like I still have a frog in my throat. This cold is hanging on. It's crazy. I feel much better than I did last week when I made a video, but I still have the cough and runny nose. So yeah, really fun. Okay, so I probably paid $2 for this Fitz and Floyd plate. Fitz and Floyd is not worth what it used to be. I used to do very well with selling Fitz and Floyd's figurines, etc. But I think the market probably got flooded, so it's not worth. I thought I was going to get more than $9.18 for this, but oh well. Sold a lot of games over Christmas, of course, because people want to be with their family, so they bought games with their family. And I played games with my kids on Christmas. We had a great time. We really did have fun. John was sick, so a lot of the games were for floor players and up. I expected him to be there to play, but he had started what I got, this cold, and he just wasn't feeling well. So I just played with my boys. We ended up finding some games so you could play with 3 people. But it's amazing. There's not a lot of games that you can play with 1 to 3 people. It's usually 4 and up because they want you to have teams. So anyway, I'm just going to bring this up real quick because these are items that I own. There's 3 sweaters I found. They're cable knit sweaters. They were Old Navy and JCP. They were V-neck. They had a V-neck and a scoop neck, and they were great colors that went together. Blue, green, and orange, and they're those bright colors. So I thought I'll lot these up. They're very similar sweaters. They were all size extra large, I believe, and no, large. And they sold pretty quickly, just for 19 bucks. So if you lot up things, a lot of times you could get more money for them. I've done this when my kids are little. You put a lot of their clothes together, like jeans or pants or shirts or, etc. A lot of moms like to buy a lot, and I'm talking about an LOT, a lot, a bunch of clothing, a bunch of pieces of clothing. You could sell those for more money, 20 bucks and up usually. I've lotted up a few things, but this I thought was a good lot of items that I own, so they were free. I got 19 bucks, so be looking for that. If you guys have like items in your closet or your drawer or wherever that you think you could put together in a listing, that's going to be more desirable for people because, they want to have more than one of something a lot of times. So that was a great find. Not a find, it was a great idea of myself to go and get things that I wasn't wearing out of my dresser and put them together in a listing. There's Sparta. Wanted to mention one thing, this puppy surprise dog with 3 puppies. This is the second one I sold. I got them both at a thrift store, like $2-3 bucks. Didn't spend much on them, but they're very desirable. I sold this for 20. I think the previous one I sold for like 25. They're really cute. It's a dog and has 3 puppies that fits inside its stomach, and you can pull them out and play with them. So I think little girls probably love playing with them. So be on the lookout, you guys. It's called Puppy Surprise. It's vintage from 1991. So if you ever see that, grab it up. That's going to be a good sale. The first one I sold within a week. This one took a few months. I don't know what Sparta's doing. I was trying to see what was out the window. All right, when we moved in, the previous tenants left a few things downstairs in the basement. And I made sure it wasn't our neighbor's we're in a duplex, so they're above us, and we're below, and make sure it wasn't theirs, and it wasn't. So the previous tenants had left some things, and one of them were these headphones that I sold for $95. And I forgot to mention that on the last video, but that was amazing. Love when people leave stuff behind. We've had that before. The last place we live, our neighbors had left a bunch of things that we sold. A lot of people are not resellers. They just want to get rid of stuff. So they don't like see the dollar signs, or they don't care. They don't need the money. Or maybe they left it by mistake. I don't know. But I sold those headphones for $95, and I've sold like 2 or 3 other things. They left some games that I've sold. Oh, a lid. I think I just sold it for $10, but I sold that recently. That was just amazing. It's like, wow, cha-ching, free money. I was so excited when I found those things. Oh, I think I mentioned this on a video. I did sell this Certified International Susan Wing It Snowman cookie jar. I did mention on a video. Sold it for $22.85. Probably within a couple of weeks. It was before Christmas. They got it on December 15th. There's shipping on that. It was like a 3 or 4 pound item. So they did pay for that. But my husband, John, is the one who picked that up. He looked it up, knew that was a good buy. And it was not super fun to ship because it was breakable, but they got it there in one piece. So always love that. And this is an example of somebody giving you something and selling it. My dad gave me this iPad and his instruction manuals. It was an old one. It was a 2, so it was from several years ago. I used it for a while, but my husband and I bought a laptop, and we have a couple computers, so we weren't using it. And I put on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, and people kept asking me about it, and I said it doesn't work with current apps, so nobody wanted it. And it finally sold on eBay for $57. So and I told him I was going to sell it, and he was fine with that. If you guys ever see vintage 1980s like blouses for women, those are a good sell. I sold this for $14. I've sold other ones for upwards of $20, $25. Yeah, it's like I used to wear them when I was an admin in the 80s. They're like bow blouses sometimes, or they could just be a button-down blouse. I used to wear this to work all the time, and a lot of times I'd wear like clunky jewelry with it, or long necklaces. It had the big this big hair, so it was kind of funny. But I love the 80s. I love working and living in the 80s. Super fun. So does my husband. We love the music. It was just a fun time to be. It was free. Well, it wasn't free originally, but it's like it was free because I've had it for a long time. So yeah, this is another thing I had. When we moved from storage unit from Portland, Oregon to Pendleton, Oregon, where we live now, I had a whole box full of LED bulbs new in the package. I don't know why I had them, but I ended up selling 1 or 2 of them for $19. I kept one for me because I do use LED bulbs in here for pictures. So yeah, that was great. That sold very quickly. So I'm going to end this for now. I don't want to go too long. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm feeling much better, still hanging on. I really hope you guys don't get this. Stay healthy and stay well. Be drinking your water and just doing what you can to not get sick. But I'm doing well, and I'm very thankful for you guys, those of you that watch and support my channels. Those of you give me thumbs up, any of you that comment, thank you. Feel free to comment some more. If you haven't subscribed and you want to know about how to be a better reseller, or what to do to become a reseller, I'm going to be doing a lot more content about answering questions and always giving you helpful tips and tricks at how to work this business so you can be as profitable as you can. So really appreciate you guys. I thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Give me that thumbs up if you want. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.